Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with episode number 2 from my mini series of blogging tips. Now in episode number 1 I touched on lots of different factors all surrounding how to actually start a blog. Now I'm going to take you on to the next step, which is growing your blog into a business and preparing your blog and your business to start working with brands. Right, so the first topic on the agenda is growing your blog and gaining exposure. And I did slightly touch on this in the first video, and I mentioned social media channels. Social media is going to be the most valuable form of exposure for you guys. So I'm just going to run through a few of the social media channels which I find the most valuable, and I'm going to go through some do's and don'ts. Right, so I'm going to start off with my do's of Instagram, and not only is this going to help you gain exposure for your blog, it's also going to help you gain exposure and hopefully grow in numbers on Instagram, the platform itself. Tag brands in your Instagram post. You don't have to put them in the caption unless there's something you feel very passionately about. If it's a really amazing coat, or maybe you're not a fashion blogger, it's interiors, it's a really wicked couch or something. So make sure you tag them in your actual image. Alongside that, use relevant hashtags. So you might have a few favourite brands. Have a look at those brands, have a look at their Instagram feeds and see if they have a brand hashtag. For example, I absolutely love And Other Stories at the moment. So whenever I post a picture using or wearing any And Other Stories products, I always use the hashtag And Other Stories because that is their brand hashtag. Just don't use too many. Use ones that are specific to the image that you're posting. Tag INSPO accounts in your Instagram image. So don't put them in your caption, just tag them in your image. Now you've got a maximum of 20 tags that you can put in an image. Now I can leave you guys some examples of some good INSPO accounts down in the description box below that you might want to tag, if of course you are predominantly a fashion blogger like me. Some bloggers do agree with doing it, some bloggers don't agree with doing it, but as far as I'm concerned, if you're creating a really beautiful image and you think that other people might like it, a lot of these INSPO accounts have got hundreds of thousands, there's a couple of them that have got millions of followers, and they repost for free just if they like your outfit. So all you're doing is making yourself searchable, or you're making yourself known to these INSPO accounts. They can look at your image, and then from there it's pretty much down to them. If they like your image, they like your style, they can regram it, and of course you then get a mention and you will then grow in following because you're then reaching out to a wider audience. Now, provided you're creating really high quality content, a brand may well regram you. Now, to increase the chances of a regram from a certain brand, have a look at their own Instagram account. Get a feel for it. See what kind of images they're already regramming. Well, number one, see if they do actually regram, because there's a lot of brands out there that don't regram. But have a look at their account. See what their aesthetic looks like, and then maybe think about that when you're shooting your images. Of course, don't transform into something else. Make sure your images still remain you, but just to increase your chances of a regram, maybe take a more detailed picture of a specific top you might be wearing. Or if, for example, you wanted a regram from River Island, maybe don't be wearing a River Island t-shirt with a Topshop jacket over the top, because it's unlikely they're going to regram something like that because the two brands are competitors. This is my most important do for Instagram. Engage. Engage with your followers. They're engaging with you, whether it be via likes, whether it be via direct messages, comments. Engage. Read all your comments. Give them a heart to acknowledge that you've read it. Reply. Have a joke. Have a laugh with people. Go onto their accounts if they've left you a really nice comment. I always do this. If someone leaves a comment, anything regarding a dog, I am straight onto their account. If they've said, oh, my little dachshund does this, I will be straight on their account and I will be having a conversation with them, because as far as I'm concerned, it's just good manners. It is highly useful to turn your personal account, if you have it still on personal, to a business account, because with a business account you get analytics, and within the analytics tool you can see some very crucial information that will help you in deciding when to post. So it will give you lots of demographic information on the gender of your followers, the age group of your following, which I know I find really valuable, especially when it comes to working with brands. But the most useful part that I find is the bottom section, which is a little graph, and this graph tells you when the majority of your followers are active on Instagram. So for me, for example, I always post my Instagram images at around about 4:30 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And if you have a little look at my graph, this is because the number of people who are starting to be more active on Instagram around that kind of midday point starts to rise around 3 o'clock or 3 o'clock-ish. So I choose to post at this specific time late in the afternoon so that I can make the most of all of these people who are starting to come on Instagram from late afternoon up through the evening. Now, I heard not long ago that Instagram rewards you for using all of their other features on the platform. So over the last few years, they've introduced lots of different things. They put an end to Snapchat by introducing Instagram Stories, which I think we can all agree is an amazing, amazing tool. And Instagram Stories have now become a huge part of building your brand. Now, from personal experience, I have noticed a difference to when I'm using Instagram Stories and other features like the album feature alongside just posting as I normally would. I notice a raise in engagement, I notice a raise in followers, and for that reason, that's why this is number 6 on my do list. Tried and tested by me. Now on the flip side of all this Instagram goodness are the Instagram don'ts. Don't buy followers. Don't use a follow bot. Don't buy likes. Don't buy unorganic engagement. The most rewarding thing is to grow your following naturally, to know that you have earned every single one. Well, I say every single one. You're going to get spam accounts naturally. You're going to get random dudes that like to send inappropriate pictures. Block, report, okay? Bottom line is, do not buy unorganic followers, engagement, bots, anything. Don't pay to boost your Instagram posts. So this is a function which is also used on Facebook because of course Facebook now own Instagram. I would say do not use this, okay? How I would equate this to is, would you pay to have your face and your blog plastered all over the side of a bus, or if you're in America, over a giant billboard? No. And I know the two price comparisons are so completely far off, but it is the same principle. And I'm sure you guys are creating content that is so awesome, you don't need to pay to boost your posts. Let's keep it organic. Do not leave follow me, I'll follow you back style comments on people's Instagrams. To be honest with you, if I see a comment like that, it doesn't make me want to click on your profile and follow you. Now, running alongside this annoying follow for follow comment is tagging people in your photos who have large numbers, and not because you want them to see your photo, but because by tagging very high profile people in your post, you will actually appear on their Instagram account. It's not the way to grow, guys. Now, I did touch on this again before in my previous video, so I'm not going to say anything else other than, even if you hate Twitter, just use it. Okay, because there are retweets, brands will retweet you. Again, tag brands, say, for example, okay, here's today's post featuring, and if you're wearing, or maybe you've done an interiors post featuring, I don't know, made.com, tag those or mention them in your tweet. That way you will gain exposure to the brand, get yourself noticed by the brand, and then you will be on their radar. Use it. Facebook is still the #1 most used social media platform in the world. I have no idea why, but it is. So set yourself up with a page, don't link to your personal profile. Set yourself up with a page which is surrounding your blog, and then use that to promote your blog posts, maybe use it to promote some just quick iPhone snaps, and of course use hashtags again as you would do, and make sure you're tagging your brands as you would be doing with Instagram and Twitter. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I am borderline addicted to Pinterest. I absolutely love it. I use it on a daily basis. Now, alongside the whole INSPO aspect of Pinterest, it can also be really useful for growing exposure and getting those stats up for your blog. So again, I have compiled some do's and some don'ts for Pinterest. Set up different boards, lots and lots of different boards, and have them be specific. So even if, like me, you are predominantly a fashion blogger, make sure you set up some boards for home, maybe some boards for food, a wedding board, hair, makeup, gardening. What did I say last time? Beads, jewellery, absolutely anything. Anything that you enjoy, anything you like. I even have one board just for funny pictures because they make me lol. But people want to see a little bit more depth to you guys these days. So it might not just be necessarily fashion that they want to look at. They might want to see the whole package. Now, the main board for when it comes to sending traffic to your blog will be the you board. So this board should be all about you and what you do. So for me, it is a my style board. And of course, the pins which get pinned on here are often from my Instagram account. They might be just from snaps that I've posted to Twitter or to Facebook. And then of course, they are all of the nice, pretty and professional images that we shoot for the blog, which are all taken on a DSLR. Now, the main thing to bear in mind with your board is to keep it updated regularly. And I will hold my hands up. I am a little bit guilty of sometimes neglecting the My Style board. And then all of a sudden, I'll literally pin like 50 images to the My Style board. So if you follow me on Pinterest, my apologies if your home feed has randomly just been filled up with Emma Hill pictures all of a sudden. Soz. Make sure your blog is optimized for Pinterest. So what I mean by when I say make sure your blog is optimized for Pinterest, if you hover over an image on your blog, a little pin button should come up. Now, I know that you can get a P plugin, which is for your browser, but a lot of people don't have this. And to be honest with you, having your images and your blog optimized for Pinterest and having that little P button just makes it 10 times more likely that someone will want to pin your image. But how do you do this? Well, if you have bought a template, then it's more than likely that this template will come with a Pin It plugin. If not, you can always download a plugin if you're with WordPress, and with Blogger, I think there is also an option to have a Pin It button in there as well. Be descriptive when you're pinning your own images on Pinterest. So I'm going to show you an example which hopefully will appear over here. So I'm going to pin one of my own images onto Pinterest. What I'm actually going to do is describe everything within that image. So absolutely everything that I'm wearing. You can mention brands if you want to, mention the colour of an item, what season is the style from. So if it's a winter outfit, mention that it's a winter outfit, because all of these elements are highly searched for on Pinterest. So you want to make sure that your image comes up when someone taps in winter outfit, for example. Pinterest have said vertical images are far more popular than horizontal images, so always pin your vertical images. Now, another tip on top of that is to make any vertical images that you have, which maybe are a full-length outfit of yourself, crop them, make them narrower and taller, because as you can see in this Pinterest feed here, those images become much more prominent when you're flicking through the feed. Now, I only have one don't when it comes to Pinterest, and I'm actually very passionate about this, and there's a few other bloggers that do it and it infuriates me so much. But because I'm British, I never say anything. I just keep it to myself and just, smile. Smile and be polite, because that's what the Brits do. Right, my don't. Do not change the source of an image that doesn't belong to you to your own blog. Oh, I can't tell you how much this annoys me. Now, not only from my side do I feel like this is annoying, but also from someone who maybe isn't a blogger, who is just using Pinterest as inspiration. Now, I have done this before. I've been looking at Pinterest and I've actually gone through and I thought, oh, that's such an awesome jacket. I wonder where I can get that. So I've clicked on the image, hoping that it would take me to this person's fabulous blog post. And it actually hasn't. It's taken me to someone else whose blog was nowhere near as good as the original blogger, and I can't find out where the jacket is from because they also haven't been descriptive in their description. So just don't do that, guys. Right, now one last point about Pinterest, seeing as I was talking about changing that source of an image. You can change the source of an image if it's your own image and you were going to change that source to a retailer. And this is where this is going to flow nicely, hopefully seamlessly, into my next topic. So if you're already signed up to an affiliate scheme, then use that on your Pinterest images. So perhaps in the board that is for your style or your interiors, whatever it is that your board is, the U board, make sure that you use some of those pins with affiliate links. I would just say don't affiliate link every single image because of course you still want to be driving traffic back to your blog. Right, now I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on affiliate links now because I am very aware that there might be some of you that don't really know how affiliate links work. And as I mentioned at the start of this video, this is the one point before you start working with brands that's going to be really helpful for you guys to start earning a little bit of income. Now there is one top dog, and that is Rewardstyle, a platform that I know and love and have used for probably the last 5 years now. There are a few other affiliate schemes which are also useful, maybe for brands that aren't necessarily with Rewardstyle, and there are also some affiliate schemes which work on a click basis as opposed to a commission basis. Rewardstyle works off a commission basis. Now, I will make sure that I link all of these brands and companies that I keep coming out with all down in the description box below for anyone that is interested and wants to research a little bit more. So let me just break it down into an example for you. Let's say I've written a blog post about this blazer. So I have used an affiliate link on this blazer. Somebody comes along, reads my blog post, decides that they like this blazer, they would like to know more about it from the retailer. So they click on my link, which directs them to the retailer of which this blazer came from. Now, once they're on that website, if they choose to buy something, whether it be my blazer or whether it be something else, then I will get a slice of commission for directing that person to that retailer. Now, let's say that this person maybe doesn't want to buy the blazer now, they need to wait until payday. Fine, so they wait until the end of the month, they come back at payday. They decide they want to buy the blazer and maybe they buy a pair of jeans and also a pair of boots. Provided they have not clicked on another affiliate link for that retailer, I will still get the commission so long as it's within 30 days of them first originally clicking on my link. So affiliate links are an excellent way for bloggers to make some additional money, but most affiliate networks are on an invite-only basis. So this should be even more of an incentive for you guys to go out there, create some awesome content, get yourself some exposure and get yourself recognized by an affiliate network that wants to pick you up. Okay, now the last point or the last topic of today's video, and I have to just say that all of these different topics I'm talking about don't have to run in a specific order. They can come in any order that you feel comfortable, and of course everyone's blogging journey is going to be completely different. But the last point I'm going to touch on is refining your niche and your category and knowing what works for you and sticking to that. So in episode 1 of this series I discussed experimenting, having a play around, seeing what kind of topics you wanted to talk about, what kind of posts you wanted to create, and then of course having a look at your analytics and seeing what feedback you were getting from your followers and from your readers. So by now you should know exactly what kind of content your followers and your readers are enjoying, and that should be the content that you're going to keep creating going forward. And this is all like having a business plan, because if you want to turn your blog into a business, you need to know exactly what you're doing before you start working with brands. Right, now my first tip for making your blog more professional is to move away from Blogger, if of course you are with Blogger. And I know that I mentioned in episode 1, Blogger is an excellent place to start. And that's the truth. It's because it is an excellent place to start. I was not going to advise you guys to sign up to WordPress self-hosted, to spend $2,000 designing a website, and to spend X amount of money on domains and emails every month if you didn't even enjoy blogging. So my advice when you've reached this point is to move over to WordPress self-hosted. I am currently with WordPress self-hosted, and for me it runs seamlessly. Now what you need to do is you need to find yourself a website host. So for example, I use One-on-One, but there are lots of different hosts out there. All you need to do is hit Google and just find the one that you think is right for you. So you might have already bought a custom domain back when you were with Blogger, or if you were with WordPress hosted or Squarespace even, in which case you can carry that over. And there are lots and lots of tech guidelines on YouTube and within WordPress website as well, which will guide you through how to set up that domain on your new blog. The same goes for if you want to migrate any of your old posts which were held with Blogger over to WordPress self-hosted. Again, lots of tutorials for that online to show you guys how to do that if you didn't want to spend any money having a professional do it for you. I did it all myself, and it was really, really easy once I got the hang of it. It took me probably about 24 hours before I'd fully completed the move, but it went pretty seamlessly. But if you don't have a domain, then I would say that should definitely be on your to-do list. So for example, if you are still, I don't know, johnsmith.blogspot.com, you're going to want to switch to something more along the lines of johnsmith.com. Right, blog design. Now, you don't have to go out and spend thousands on blog design, but what I will say, moving on from episode number 1, is if you choose to buy a template, it is highly likely that someone else is going to have the same template as you. And despite the fact that they might not have the same content as you, it is going to give their blog the same kind of feel. So there is somewhere to meet in the middle. If you didn't want to start spending thousands of pounds on a unique blog design, what you can do is you can do a part custom, part template. So a lot of companies that design these templates, I think I linked Pipdig as a template provider in my previous video, they actually do part custom designs on those templates. So it's an area where you can tweak tiny little elements of the template to make it a little bit more unique to you, and so that it doesn't look the same as someone else's. So you may have already taken the plunge from episode 1 and decided you were going to start off with a relatively decent camera, and that is great. However, if you kind of took my advice and maybe started just with an iPhone, it now is probably a good time to go and invest in a good camera. I will link a few camera options down in the description box below for you guys if you're interested in my opinion, because at this point I cannot stress enough how important your imagery and your photography is for growing your blog. There are hundreds, thousands, probably millions of other blogs out there, and so it's really important for you to stand out and for you to have that ability to draw people in. And so this is the prime time for you guys to be investing into some decent equipment. Okay, that is it for episode 2 of my blogging tips series. There will be another one in March, and that one will be all about how to start working with brands. So I'm really excited to film that one because I have a few special guests who are going to feature within that video. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and as always, if you have any questions at all, please do leave them down in the comments below, or feel free to reach out to me on any of my social media platforms as well. Now, I will see you guys in episode 3. Bye!